Hello users, and welcome back to Above It All, the series in where I talk about all things happening in the political spectrum. And yes, it's happening again, folks. Joe Biden talking again about the Tara Reade situation, and I really, every single time he talks about this, I feel like it can't possibly get worse. You know how like when Donald Trump posts tweets that are absolutely hilarious, and then like you have to like go quickly to his Twitter account to verify that they're actually his because you see an image of them and you think to yourself, there is no way he just wrote keyboard warriors on twitter.com, and then you go check and it's real. This is the same thing I keep seeing with Joe Biden, is all of a sudden, you know, I wake up, I go on twitter.com, and I see people talk about how Joe Biden says, don't vote for me. And I'm like, no, he can't have done that again. And it turns out he did it again. So I'm just going to play this whole interview. It doesn't seem to be that long. And, you know, we'll just go from there.
Before we go to a break, before we bring in Stacey Abrams, I want to ask you about the Tara Reade story. And you served in the Senate for about 36 years, senator from Delaware. You were chairman of committees. Having worked in the Senate myself, I'm just in my head doing the numbers. You had to have had well over 1,000 Senate staffers between the committee staff, the Delaware Senate staff. Do you remember Tara Reade, who worked there for around a year in 1992-93?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't. But look, let me get something clear.
It's so bad. That's such a...
I don't. But look, let me get something clear. When a woman makes a claim that she has been harassed or abused, and this claim has changed as it's gone on, but harassed or abused, she should be taken seriously. She can come forward, share her story. She should be taken seriously. And it should be thoroughly vetted. And in every case, what matters is the truth. Truth is what matters. And the truth of the case is nothing like this ever happened. She has a right to be heard, but then it should be vetted, and the truth ultimately matters. And I give you my word, it never, ever happened.
So this is the problem, is that he has been documented. Really, it's a credibility issue of Tara Reade versus Joe Biden. Joe Biden is in a position of power, and he was senator for, what they say, 36 years or something. He was vice president of the United States. After being vice president of the United States under the first black president in the United States history, he had the audacity to make up wild claims about how he marched with Martin Luther King Jr., and then his campaign had to say, oops, no, sorry, we talked to him about that, he won't lie anymore. And then he continued lying. He made claims about being arrested in apartheid South Africa for marching for ending apartheid. And his campaign was like, oh, shit, fuck, no, sorry, Joe, you gotta stop doing that, you gotta stop doing it. And he kept doing it. And then they were like, Joe, come on, you gotta stop lying. Just tell him something about Amtrak. Tell him about the thing. And it's like, it's a credibility competition. And similarly to the Brett Kavanaugh situation, actually, I would even say Joe Biden is less credible than the Brett Kavanaugh situation, but that's just me. It's the credibility of a woman who is bringing forth these allegations, has no reason to lie, no discernible reason. She was a down-ballot Democrat, like, vote blue no matter who person. She tried to intervene in February and March when the primaries were starting. And Biden's own campaign, not someone connected to Biden, not Biden's friend, Biden's presidential campaign sent approximately 1 million, not 1,000, not 100, not, $1 million, right? I think it was like 870,000 or something, to a firm that just so happens to employ the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund, and that's the one that Tara Reade went to, and it just so happened that after receiving these donations, they strung Tara Reade along and said, sorry, we're looking for a lawyer for you, we'll help you out, don't worry. And then, after South Carolina, when Joe Biden got the coalescence victories in Super Tuesday, they were like, oh, sorry, we can't help you. Biden's our nominee now, so we can't help you. I'm sorry, it's against the rules. There's no rules that say that, by the way. And so anybody who knows these facts, and I've made videos about all these things, anybody who knows these facts would clearly understand that Joe Biden is lying here. Now, the problem is that we live in a post-truth era, and the Republican Party has demonstrated this in an incredible fashion. You have Trump brazenly lying at least 50 times a day, to the point where there's like, how many times have Trump lied? And like, I think the number last time I checked was like 25,000 times. Like, these fucking people have actually pointed out every single lie. And we live in a post-truth era. Look at the last debate with Joe Biden versus Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden said that there were 9 super PACs funding Bernie's campaign. Bernie asked him, no, there aren't. Name them. And Joe Biden's response, oh, come on, man. And he couldn't name them. Joe Biden said he's never advocated to cut Social Security when, for decades, he's on tape, right? Like this isn't like, oh, he said, she said. He is on tape, literally saying he was proud of cutting Social Security and proud of fighting to cut Social Security. He is literally on tape. He is videoed, filmed. There is filmographic evidence that you can look at with your eyes. I know it's hard for people to understand, so I'm trying to be clear here. There is video evidence that is playing, right, that you can see with your eyeballs that show Joe Biden groping an 8-year-old girl's breasts. There's no comparison, honestly, in the credibility thing between Tara Reade and Joe Biden. Oh, Tara Reade changed her name. And a lot of people change their names. That's the whole point of names, is they're arbitrary. It's who you are, not what you're called. Okay? Oh, she said something about Putin. The fact that there are people out there that hate Putin so much, it's not even hating Putin, it's just that their brain has been filled with just this gobbledygook, to the point where they see all this, or they don't, or they willingly look away. Imagine having such little integrity, having such little faith in humanity, that you think because someone blogged about Vladimir Putin like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, that all of a sudden means that she has lied more than Joe Biden's entire career of lying. If you think that that's as bad as groping an 8-year-old girl's breasts on video, not as bad, but worse, like significantly worse, these neoliberal scumbags, you deserve to, 1, mandatory therapy, 2, you need to get you should not have a Twitter account. You should not be in a situation where you're able to speak to other humans that aren't therapists, because you are such an abusive, terrible scumbag that words cannot describe. And I know I'm not even done this interview, but I'm sorry, but thank you for listening to my monologue. Now for part 2.
Let me ask you about a piece, it was an op-ed piece in the New York Times recently by Linda Hirschman, and it was entitled, I Believe Tara Reade, I'm Voting for Joe Biden Anyway. And this is an accusation that she says there were no witnesses to this. It happened in a public place, the way she describes it, in the basement of the Senate. That might sound like a private place, but as you and I both know, that's a thoroughfare. That's a very busy area, but there are no witnesses to it. So it's your word saying it didn't happen, and now her version of it is that it did happen. What do you say to women who were ready to vote for Joe Biden, eager to vote for Joe Biden, but this gives them serious pause because they do believe Tara Reade, and you're not going to change their mind about that? What would you say to them about their vote?
Okay, so this is a softball question. This is, oh, the Supreme Court. This is, oh, but I'm gonna, I'm gonna help transition us to a new progressive era. Oh, I'm gonna have a vice president who's a woman and who's fighting for this, and we're gonna have a task force. We're gonna have policy to help women. This isn't, like, this is such an easy question. Let's see how he responds.
Well, I think they should vote their heart. And if they believe Tara Reade, they probably shouldn't vote for me. I wouldn't vote for me if I believed Tara Reade. The fact is that, look at Tara Reade's story. It changes considerably. And so anything other than this. But I don't want to question her motive. I don't want to question anything other than to say the truth matters. This is being vetted. It's been vetted. They went and people interviewed scores of my employees over my whole career. This is just totally, thoroughly, completely out of character. And the idea that
But the thing is, it's not out of character. He is on video doing this to an 8-year-old. Like, on video. And it's not just one 8-year-old. It's multiple children. It's like on video. On fucking video. What do you mean it's out of character? Like, what does that mean? This is the problem here, is it's so abusive because it's gaslighting. My hair is fucking me up. It's telling you that the reality is different from your lying eyeballs. Like, you see something, oh, that's a deep fake. Oh, but it was done in 2005. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's not real. Oh, he didn't actually do that. Oh, no. It's telling you something that you can see in real time is false, but they're saying it anyway. And the problem here is, like, I've said this from the get-go, I will vote against Donald Trump. Whoever, the day before, the day of the general election, whoever has the highest likelihood of beating Donald Trump in North Carolina, that's who I will vote for. Because at the end of the day, I don't think voting really matters that much. Of course, you should vote. But at the end of the day, organizing and community aid and mutual aid and dual power is much more important. That being said, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, folks. We are in a fucking hell world. This is the worst possible series of events that could have transpired given the Democratic primary from the onset. This is the nuclear, option for them, the Democratic Party. This is the, again, the worst possible outcome. Just, two rapists after this whole Me Too movement, right? Just completely, words that are accurate enough to describe how terrible of a predicament this is do not exist in the English language, and probably do not exist in any other written language. Maybe they exist in some ancient spoken language in Native American tribes or something. Maybe, but unlikely.
Public place in a hallway, I would assault a woman? I mean, it's just, right? Anyway.
They say that he wouldn't do it because it's public. Yet, he is on video, smelling children's hair, groping their breasts, and, sniffing their face, going in, rubbing their fucking faces with his nose. So, if he is on video doing that, why wouldn't he do something in a public place like that? Oh, the coast is clear, man. Oh, why wouldn't he?
I promise you, it never happened. It should be vetted. She should be thoroughly looked at, and whether or not these happen, look at the story, follow the storyline, and determine whether there's any truth to it. And there is no truth to it. I promise you. I don't want to.
There's really nothing else I can say on this one. I don't know. Not good, folks. Not good.